The Acclaimed and the Guns for the AEW tag titles. Max rapped about that you can never finish us like the border wall, and they're going to shoot them down like a Chinese spy balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Topical.
Very much so. They beat on Max on the floor, and long beat down spot until Bowens received the tag, and then they did a spot where a rolling elbow connected, and Stephon Smith, this guy took the referee bump of all referee bumps. So this man, he knew he had to be out for a long time, so he was going to make it look like he was on the brink of consciousness. And he gets knocked out to the floor. They continue. Austin grabs the tag title belt, and this prompts Daddy Ass to come down. And he's standing over Bowens, and everyone's thinking, man, this is it. He's going to screw the Acclaimed. But then as he winds up with the belt shot, he clears Bowens out of the way, and Billy stops Austin. So instead, Colton comes from behind and nails his father with the belt. The Acclaimed fight back. They hit the Arrival and mic drop, but Stephon Smith is still out. So Max has to go revive him, tosses Stephon Smith into the ring, and then we get a kick out with Bowens sent into the ropes and nailed with the belt from the floor. Austin rolls up Bowens, and we get the dramatic, slow 3 count by Smith, and the Guns win the tag titles in 10.5 minutes. And this was a first where Dynamite actually had some time to kill at the end of the show. Like, the music just played, and these guys just stood in the ring. The music ended, so then they played the Acclaim song, and you're always trained in AEW. It's like they are going to use every last second, that maybe they can shoot an angle in these last 60 seconds. But no, the show just ended, and they had like 2 minutes to kill at the end of the show. I can't remember this ever happening at Dynamite. It's just usually like a crazy sprint to that 10 o'clock minute.
I mean, could it have been the hater match, possibly being short by that exact amount of time? But you'd figure they'd have enough time to flex elsewhere. But
I'm not even complaining. Like, this actually, instead of just this ends and we're off the air in 10 seconds, it let the importance of this sink in. Like, the Acclaimed have lost the titles, and you got some crowd shots, and you had the reactions of the Acclaimed, you had the reactions of the Guns, and that's something you never get at the end of these shows, is digesting what you've just seen, because it's boom, 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 boom. We'll see you on Friday for Rampage, and you're out, and you're spinning. Whether this was a mistake or not, I think like there's a lesson here that you know when you do something big, give it a moment to fully digest, especially your main event that you're going off. Like, there's certainly stuff in the show that you can be on a quick pace and getting to the next segment. But I actually like this. Like, it was like this audience was shocked. I don't think they were necessarily expecting a title change. And
I wasn't.
The Guns win the belts. And
I would say, go ahead.
Nothing. You go.
Well, to me, AEW title changes are typically like somewhere between like predictable or at least like not surprising. I don't think it's that often that they do like surprising title changes, and that's a good thing, because you can, it usually indicates like there's a good story that was being told to get up to build up to that title change. And that's why I think, for the most part, their titles are pretty well protected and significant. This to me felt rather shocking, or at least like surprising, because I still view the Guns as like pretty low level, like, in terms of tag teams, and at least compared to the Acclaimed, compared to maybe like a Swerve in Our Glory or like, other tag teams that have previously been champions. I didn't see them at that level of being, a world championship team. The build itself, I thought, was kind of comedy based, but they went with what I thought was a pretty surprising title change here. And I think we could assume that maybe this is just their way of setting up an obstacle for the Acclaim before they get their belts back, likely at the pay-per-view, or maybe they don't get the belts back. I don't know, but it was a surprising finish. I do have concerns, with the Guns as your champions, because I think unlike a lot of the previous tag team champions that you've had, there's a certain level of expectation for in-ring ability. And I don't think the Guns have reached that level yet. They're great personalities, and I think they've made great strides as like entertaining sort of like, acts that I feel are more kind of mid tier at this point. But in ring is where I really do question it. But we'll see what type of storytelling they tell. For the rest of this Acclaim feud, I'll say like I think the Billy Gunn tease in the middle was not at all effective. But maybe they just needed something significant involving Billy Gunn for this title change.
Yeah. No, I think the Acclaimed, it's not imperative that they get the belts back to them. It would be, to me, it would come down to what is happening with FTR. Because if you feel that they are sticking around, I could get away with doing a really short Guns title reign and you get these belts to FTR. And if they're not coming back, I would want to get that win for the Guns. Like FTR does one last match before they are going off, and you get that win for a team, and the Guns are as good a choice. You've already done the angle, so you should get to the match regardless. And if they're sticking around, like you could just do a short title reign for the Guns, and then FTR win the tag belts, and then you've got the Acclaimed in the mix as well. They want to get their shot back. You've got a thriving tag division. So to me, FTR is kind of the key to this tag picture and where they're going with it. But I would want to do that the Guns FTR match because you did the eulogy, and I think you have to deliver the match, whether they're staying or going.
Agreed.